I never thought I'd be the kind of person who would write something like this. But after everything that happened in that house, I feel like if I don't get it out somewhere, it's going to eat me alive. So, here it is. My story. When I moved into that rental house, I was broke. Like checking my bank app 10 times a day. Broke. I had just lost my job at a printing company in Ohio. The place shut down overnight. No warning. No severance. Just a locked door and a handwritten sign that said closed permanently. 2 weeks later, my girlfriend left, said I was emotionally unavailable. Maybe she was right. I was too busy worrying about rent to worry about feelings. So when I found this house for $650 a month, I didn't ask many questions. 3 bedrooms, a small backyard, basement included. For that price, it felt like a miracle. The landlord was an older guy named Mr. Collins. Thin, pale, always sweating. He barely looked me in the eyes when he handed me the keys. Basement's unfinished, he said quickly. You probably won't use it much. That was it. No explanation. I didn't care. I needed a place. The first night there, I slept on the floor. No bed yet, no couch, just a sleeping bag and my backpack. The house was quiet, too quiet. No traffic, no neighbors talking, no dogs. Just silence. Around 2:30 a.m., I woke up cold. Not normal cold. Deep, bone-level cold. Like I'd been sleeping outside in winter. My breath looked foggy in the air. That's when I heard it. A sound. From below me. The basement. A soft, dragging noise. Like someone slowly pulling something heavy across concrete. I froze. Held my breath. Listened. It stopped. After a few seconds, I told myself it was just pipes. Old house. Old noises. I went back to sleep. Over the next few weeks, things got worse. Every night around the same time, 2 o'clock to 3 a.m., I'd hear something. Footsteps, scraping, a faint knocking, always from the basement. And the cold, no matter how high I set the heater, my bedroom felt like a freezer at night. During the day, it was normal. Warm, comfortable. But after midnight, icebox. One evening, I decided to finally check the basement. I needed storage space anyway. The door was in the kitchen. Old wooden door. Paint peeling. Rusty knob. When I opened it, a wave of cold air rushed up. It smelled like mold, metal, something rotten. I turned on my phone flashlight and walked down. Concrete steps, cracked walls, exposed pipes. Typical unfinished basement. At first, there were shelves along one wall, full of old paint cans, broken tools, dust-covered boxes. Then I noticed something strange. The temperature. As I walked deeper, it dropped. By the time I reached the back wall, my hands were shaking. Then I saw it. Behind the shelves, a door, a heavy, gray metal door with a deadbolt and scratches, long, deep scratches, like someone had tried to claw their way out. My stomach dropped. I went upstairs immediately. Didn't even grab anything. That night, I barely slept. Every noise sounded louder. Every shadow felt alive. The next day, I asked my neighbor, a woman named Mrs. Ramirez. She had lived there for years. I casually said, "Hey, do you know anything about this house? Like, the basement?" Her smile vanished. She looked over her shoulder, lowered her voice. "You shouldn't go down there," she said. "Why?" She shook her head. "Bad things happened." Then she walked away. I called the landlord, asked him about the door. There was silence on the line. Then he said, "Don't open it." "Why?" "It's sealed for a reason." "What reason?" He hung up. That was when I knew something was wrong, very wrong. I started researching the address, old news articles, archived forums, police reports. It took hours. Then I found it. A missing persons case from 2009. 3 people. A college student, a single mother, a handyman. All lived in my house. All vanished. No bodies, no suspects. Case went cold. My hands were shaking as I scrolled. One line stood out. Investigators noted unusual modifications in the basement. I couldn't ignore it anymore. I bought bolt cutters, a flashlight, a mask, gloves. I told myself I was just curious. That's a lie. I was terrified, but I needed answers. It was 1:47 a.m. when I went down. The house was silent. The air felt thick, like walking underwater. I stood in front of the door. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it might give me away. I cut the lock. It snapped, loud, too loud. I flinched, waited. Nothing happened. I slowly pulled the door open. Inside was a small room. No windows, concrete walls. One bare light bulb hanging from the ceiling. It flickered. The smell hit me first. Old blood, rust, decay. Then I saw the chains bolted into the walls, handcuffs, rope, stained mattress on the floor, and photographs. Hundreds of them, pinned everywhere. People, different people, all taken inside that room, crying, begging, bleeding. Some photos were labeled with dates. My housemates, the missing people. I felt sick. Then I found the notebook on a small table, leather-bound. Inside, detailed entries about guests, about punishment. It was written by a man named Richard Hale, a previous tenant. He had used the basement as a prison. For years, kidnapped people, kept them there, tortured them, then disposed of them somewhere unknown. He was arrested in 2012, died in prison. But the room was never removed, never reported. Hidden. I ran. I didn't even close the door. I grabbed my keys and drove to the police station. They searched the house the next day, found everything. Human remains in the walls, in the drains, in the soil outside. The landlord was arrested. He knew. He had covered it up, kept renting the house, collecting money, pretending nothing happened. I moved out that week, left everything behind. Didn't care. It's been 2 years. I still wake up at night. Still feel cold sometimes. Still hear scraping in my dreams. Sometimes I wonder how many people slept in that house, never knowing what was under them, and how close I was to becoming another photo on that wall. If you're reading this and your basement feels wrong, trust your instincts. Leave before it's too late. I'm writing this because my therapist told me it might help. Because every night, when it gets quiet, I'm back there again, in the dark, in the cold, under my own house. I live in a small town in Missouri. One of those places where everyone knows everyone, but nobody really knows you. I moved there after my divorce, after I quit my job in St. Louis, after I stopped answering my brother's calls. I told myself I wanted peace. What I really wanted was to disappear. My house was cheap, 2 bedrooms, peeling paint, creaky floors, and a basement, concrete walls, low ceiling, smelled like dirt and oil. I used it for storage, old boxes, tools, canned food. I never thought it would become my prison. The storm came in late May. They said it would be bad. Tornado watch, heavy flooding. Same warnings as always. We hear them every year. Most of us ignore them. I was in the basement that evening organizing boxes, trying to distract myself from another lonely night. Rain started tapping on the windows upstairs, then pounding, then screaming. Wind howled like something alive. The lights flickered. I remember thinking, maybe I should go upstairs. That was my last normal thought. There was a sound like an explosion. The whole house shook, dust rained down. Before I could move, the ceiling cracked. A beam snapped. Everything collapsed. I woke up buried. Not completely. My legs were pinned. My chest was free. But I couldn't sit up. I couldn't turn. Concrete, wood, insulation, pressing down on me. I tried to scream. Dust filled my mouth. I choked, coughed, panicked. My phone was in my pocket. Cracked, screen black. No signal, no power, nothing. At first, I thought I'd be rescued quickly. Storms pass, neighbors check in. Someone would notice. Hours passed. No voices, no sirens. Just dripping water and my own breathing. My throat burned. My head throbbed. I tried to move my legs. Pain exploded. I screamed, then cried, then laughed. Because it sounded insane, I started talking to myself, out loud. Okay, Mark, stay calm. Just breathe. You're not dying here. I said my name over and over, like if I forgot it, I'd vanish. Water started rising, slowly, from the floor. Cold, dirty. It soaked my shoes. Then my pants. Then my waist. Panic hit again. If it filled up, I'd drown. Pinned. Helpless. I clawed at the rubble. My fingers bled. I didn't care. Nothing moved. By the second day, I was weak. Thirsty. My tongue felt like sandpaper. My stomach twisted. I remembered a bottle of water in a box nearby, 2 feet away. I couldn't reach it. I cried over a stupid plastic bottle. Time stopped making sense. I slept in short bursts. Woke up shaking. Dreamed of my ex-wife, of my mom, of family dinners I skipped, of calls I ignored. I whispered apologies into the dark. I'm sorry I didn't try harder. I'm sorry I was selfish. I'm sorry I ran. My legs went numb, then burning, then numb again. I was scared they were dying, that even if I survived, I'd never walk. I imagined myself in a wheelchair, alone, again. On the 3rd day, I started hallucinating. I heard music, smelled coffee, thought someone was calling my name. No one was, just my brain breaking. I begged it to stop. I kept a journal in my head. Morning, afternoon, night, except there was no light, no clock, just darkness. I counted breaths, hundreds, thousands. To stay sane, on what I think was day 4, I heard something, a faint vibration, a distant voice. I froze. Hello? Nothing. Then again, louder. Is anyone there? I screamed. With everything left in me, I'm here. My voice cracked, but they heard. Rescue took hours. They drilled, lifted, shouted. I drifted in and out. Hands grabbed me. Light blinded me. Fresh air hit my lungs. I sobbed, like a child. Hospital, IVs, machines, beeping, crushed muscles, dehydration, infection. I stayed 3 weeks, learning to walk again, learning to breathe without fear. It's been a year. I sold the house, moved closer to family. Answer calls now, go to therapy. Try. Some nights I still wake up gasping, feeling walls that aren't there. But I'm alive, and I don't waste that anymore. If you're reading this, and you feel stuck in life, don't wait for disaster to change you. Change now, before the dark does it for you. I still check my locks 3 times every night. Even now, even though we moved, even though the basement is no longer under my feet. Some habits don't leave you. Some fears stay forever. My name is Daniel. I live in Indiana with my wife Claire and our 6-year-old daughter Emma. We bought our house 5 years ago. Small, old, affordable, built in the 1950s. Wooden floors that creaked, thin walls, a narrow basement. It wasn't perfect, but it was ours. The first strange thing was food. It started with cereal. One morning, Claire asked, "Did you finish the cornflakes?" I said no. She said she hadn't either. The box was empty. We laughed, blamed Emma. Then it happened again. Bread, milk, snacks, always small amounts, never everything, like someone was trying not to be noticed. Then came the noises. Soft footsteps. Late at night, around 2 a.m., not upstairs, below us, in the basement. I'd wake up and listen. Tap, shuffle, pause, then silence. When I checked, nothing was there, just boxes and old furniture. Claire started getting scared. "Danny," she whispered one night, "do you hear that?" "Yes, someone's down there." "No," I said. "Old houses make sounds." But I didn't believe myself. Cheap ones. Living room, kitchen, basement stairs, motion activated. The first week, nothing. Second week, alerts, blurry shadows, lights flicking on, then off. No clear face. No body, just movement. Always between 1 and 3 a.m. I called the police. They checked, found nothing. One officer smiled. "Probably raccoons," he said. "Raccoons don't eat cereal." One Saturday I was organizing boxes, getting ready for a garage sale. I moved an old bookshelf and found something, a hole in the wall behind it, covered with cardboard. I pulled it away. There was a narrow opening leading into darkness, a crawl space. I never knew it existed. I crawled inside with a flashlight. The air was stale, hot, smelled like sweat and dust. The tunnel stretched farther than I expected. Then I saw it, a mattress on the ground, dirty, flattened, blankets, empty water bottles, food wrappers. Someone had been living there, under our house. My hands shook. I crawled out fast, nearly threw up. Claire saw my face. "What's wrong?" "There's someone living here." That night we stayed at her sister's. Police came again. This time they searched thoroughly, found more tunnels, leading to the street, to an abandoned drain. Someone had built a hidden network. Over years, they found him 2 days later, in the tunnels. Curled up, starving, terrified, a man in his late 40s, named Thomas, homeless, former construction worker, lost his job, lost his wife, lost his home, started living in crawl spaces, then found ours, and stayed for 3 years. I asked to speak to him. I don't know why. Maybe closure, maybe curiosity, maybe guilt. He looked small, broken, eyes sunken, hands trembling. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I never meant to hurt you." "Why didn't you leave?" I asked. "I was scared," he said. "Out there, nobody sees you. Here, I felt close to people. That hurt more than anger." Claire cried when she heard. "I feel awful," she said. "He was starving under us, and we complained about cereal." Thomas went to a shelter, then rehab, then assisted housing. We sent clothes, food, letters. He wrote back, said thank you, said he was trying. We sold the house. Couldn't stay. Too many memories. Too many nights listening for footsteps. Sometimes I think about him, about how close he was, every day, and how invisible he was. We share cities, streets, walls, but never really see each other until something breaks. If you hear noises at night, check, but don't just look for monsters. Sometimes it's just another human trying to survive.